Hey everybody, what is going on? This is Eric, and in today's video I'm going to expose our email marketing strategy when it comes to micro SaaS and SaaS. Now, if you haven't already, please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you know whenever we release new videos or if we go live or just produce new content. So, my experience with email marketing started about 5-6 years ago. Oh, it's actually 7 by now. It was 2015 when I launched my first e-commerce store. We got pretty big, pretty fast, and we started utilizing email marketing to capture more sales. We've done anything from happy birthday emails, cart recovery emails, browse abandonment, weekly newsletter, bunch of other things that we've done in order to generate more revenue. Now the thing with email marketing for e-commerce is that the funnel was always the same. It was very steady, very straightforward, and it was very easy to see the results. Usually you would collect leads through the website, either a pop-up or through checkout. Then you would send out a bunch of emails, usually based on segmentation or based on actions taken by the customers. And right after you send the email, you would be able to see right away when people click the email and if they made a purchase. So it's very easy to understand the ROI on any given action. With SaaS, however, and micro SaaS specifically, it's a little bit more complex. The process is a little bit more complicated, and we're going to go through the way we're doing things and how I think you should do things. I'm going to give you some tips and some hidden tactics that we're using that is helping us generating tons of revenue. Okay, so let's just jump into a few things I think we need to consider. So when we started implementing email marketing into our business, I think one good thing that happened to us is that actually we used all the best practices from e-commerce into our SaaS email marketing strategy, and it really helped us amplify the results we're getting. We got to a place where we have around 20% conversion rates on certain emails, and I'm going to show you that pretty soon. Okay, so I want to start with the few differences between e-commerce flows and SaaS flows and understand why SaaS and micro SaaS email marketing strategies are a little bit more complex. So I just wrote here a few bullet points. Let's go through them. First of all, usually the funnel is much longer and way more complicated. Again, if with e-commerce it's just email, click, add to cart, checkout, purchase. With your SaaS business, it might be a little bit more complex because there are much more steps that you need to take, and the order of these steps is different from one business to another. With e-commerce stores, it's always going to be the same, very similar, if not the same. With SaaS, it's completely different, depends on what the user needs to do in order to do two things. First, approve and submit payment method, and second, activate the app to get to a point where he's active paying user. So it can be that in some apps it's going to be straight away, just 2 clicks, especially if it's a micro SaaS. You can use the platform's billing system in many cases, and then it's already trustworthy and they just click, approve payment, maybe they need to do one more click and it's activated. But in many cases, the user is going to have to take many actions, submit different APIs, connect the software to different areas, design specific tools, write specific messages. All of these things can take time, can be complex, and it's important that you'll utilize email marketing to keep pushing the user towards the next step of the funnel. I just want to mention a few other points that make SaaS email marketing a little bit more complex. Okay, a few other things that makes this process a little bit more complex is the payment method. Payment methods used in common SaaS softwares. Usually there is some sort of not usually, but sometimes there's some sort of a free trial, which means that the time it's going to take you to understand if this email was profitable or not might take some time. In some software there are free plans, so a user might use your software for free, so it's even harder to understand it. In many softwares the payment changes month over month. A user can pay one month $20, the next month is going to be $200, and then it's going to change month over month, and it's kind of hard to calculate. Also, the lifetime value of a customer for SaaS software is a little more complex compared to e-commerce. For e-commerce, it's just the amount of orders you got times the average order value. It's very simple. With SaaS, it's a little bit more complex, and also these numbers change month over month because you're getting more data. Yeah, and then the last thing is that the billing logic itself might be different. Some SaaS companies charge based on monthly usage. Some SaaS companies charge based on usage or some percentage of another metric. So it's a little bit more complex, and because of all of these reasons, email marketing for SaaS companies is a little bit more complex. Now, how do you make it more simplified? I'm going to start, before we get into the actual strategy, I want to start with the 2 tools we're actually using in order to run our email marketing campaigns and automations. The first one is a tool called Segment. Now, I don't know if you heard about it or not, but Segment is a connector. It's one destination where you send all of the events and all of the properties taken or done or that are defining your users from the app and send them to Segment. Okay, Segment then have tons of integration that allows you to send all of this information with a single click to multiple tools. And we use it with Chris, Paul Help Desk. We use this with Google Analytics and Google Ads and Facebook Ads, and we use it for Klaviyo, and we use it for Mixpanel for analytics. So if you are not using this tool, first of all, if you want us to make a video about it, just comment Segment below and I'll make sure to make a video about it, or if the video is already out, I'm just gonna link it somewhere here. So just make sure to comment that if you want this video. It's a fascinating tool and I highly recommend using it. Before we started using it, we would create the same integration across multiple tools and it just costs a fortune. It's very hard to stay in sync. Right now we just update only one integration to Segment. Every time there is a new feature or we need some update, we just update it in Segment and Segment automatically update it across all the other tools we're using. The second tool is Klaviyo, which is the actual email marketing software. It's actually built for e-commerce. That's the tool we used on our store back in the day. Now we're using it for our SaaS products, and there are a lot of good things about it that actually comes from the fact that it's not built for a SaaS tool, but very easy to use, very intuitive and super powerful. You can do almost everything, insane reporting, insane segmentation. You can really do whatever you want with it. Okay, so, and I'm gonna show you in a minute how it looks like from the inside. Now, the way we did email marketing to keep things simple, and this is kind of the secret sauce for you to understand what you need to do with email marketing for your SaaS, is just always taking care of pushing users to the next step of the funnel. And it's very simple. If we look at the funnel from A to Z, you just want to look at the stage a user is at and push him one step forward. And in many cases, if you just push him back to the app, he will take all the necessary steps to become a paying active customer, which again, this is what we're aiming for. But if we look at it from scratch, let's say that we have an email. We don't know if it's a customer, if you view the website or whatever. The first step would be to generate leads. There are a bunch of ways to do it. Again, this is not for this video. Now let's just assume that you have a pop-up on your website that collect leads, email leads, and send them to Klaviyo. So the first flow you would like to create for these type of leads is just a nurturing flow. This is where you teach them about the product. This is where you display some statistics and some case studies about the product. You go over the different features and all the benefits that you have. If you have any key value statements you want to share, that would be a great place to share it with them. And of course, you can also incentivize them to get started, form of extended free trial or a demo, ask them to get on a demo so that you can sell it better, or just get a lifelong discount. There are a lot of ways you can go about it. But again, this is how you nurture them and try to get them to make the next step, which is installing the app. Now let's assume that someone installs the app, and I'm just gonna give an example from an app we are having. So in our app, the flow is pretty simple. They need to, once they go inside the app, there is another page asking them to approve payment because it's on Shopify and we can use the billing system from Shopify. Once they approve the payment, we send them to an activation page where they just need to submit a number, click activate, and that's it. We really, again, this is after years of optimization, we were able to lower the amount of clicks needed to activate the app. So this is the entire funnel. So let's say that someone installed the app. We're going to wait like a day. And because it's just one click after another, if he still didn't approve the payment, again, he's installing, then approving payment. Let's say it's been a day since someone installed the app, but he still didn't approve payment. So there are a few reasons why this could happen. It can be related to the pricing. It can be related to not understanding the app. It could be because the merchant had to leave and go to somewhere else and he just didn't have time. So what we're going to do is just send an email explaining all of these things and then wait like another day. The entire goal, the conversion metric here is a merchant that approved the payment. So we're just going to repeat that again, as long as the merchant is still in this stage of the funnel. If we move forward, we're going to stop the flow. We're just going to continue sending these emails like 6, 7, I don't know, 10 emails on the span of like 30 days. And if after that he didn't do it, we'll probably go to other strategies. Again, if this is something that you find interesting, you can just comment in the comment section below. We might go over different strategies you have to kind of revive these dormant customers. Now, let's say that he actually did approve payment, but he still didn't activate the app. Again, there is just one step he needs to take. So we're going to send another email saying, hey, listen, the app is still not activated on your store. Just let's go ahead and activate it. And we're going to send him to the right location within the app. And then again, every single day, every couple of days, if he didn't activate the app, we're going to send pretty much the same email. It's not going to be much different than the day before, pushing him to perform this action. That's it. The conversion metric in this case is to get him to activate the app. It's not how much money he's generating. It's not how much revenue he's going to pay. It's not his lifetime. It's just taking him to the next step of the funnel. Once he's active and he's paying, everything else, for us at least, we are charging based on usage. So everything else is depending on the user. But even if it was a monthly payment, for example, once he's an active paying user, that's it pretty much. I mean, you can always look at different KPIs and make sure that you improve his KPIs in order for him to stay for longer, but that's a whole other conversation. So yeah, that's pretty much the strategy. Remember that you have the flow people needs to take in order to do two things: approve payment and become an active user. Once you have these two, that's it. The user is converted. Another very important thing is if someone disables the app for any reason, we're going to send him another flow to get him to reactivate the app. That's also important because if it's disabled, there is a good chance that after a while it's going to churn and you're going to lose this customer. And of course, another one would be once someone uninstall or cancel their subscription, there is another flow. And here it's important to do some segmentation because for us, what we've seen is we have a lot of customers that get to the payment approval page and then without even approving the payment, they decline the charge and uninstall the app. So that means that they specifically didn't understand the pricing. Usually these are free users. They just don't know. They think that they need to pay. They don't really understand the billing. So we send an email specifically to them explaining about the billing, try to get them to reinstall. It works great. For other users that just uninstalled after a certain amount of time, if the app was activated or not activated, again, there's a whole segmentation there. We're going to send emails asking for feedback, trying to get them back and see if we can get them to be back, if we can fix something. Maybe it's something the support team did or something like that. So this is pretty much the breakdown of the core of the email strategy. Everything around it's a bonus. And there are a lot of things you can do with email marketing. Okay guys, so this is what our Klaviyo dashboard looks like. Again, it's built for e-commerce and we didn't really make any changes to make it a better fit for SaaS. But here are the list of flows that we have here. And I just want to show you a bunch of examples. For example, payment. Okay, so this is for merchants that approve payment, but again, didn't enable the app. So I'm just going to show you this flow as an example. This is one of the flows I was speaking about earlier. I'm just going to change here. Yeah, this is the conversion metric, which is app enabled. That's what we need because that's the goal of this flow. And we're going to see the results from the last 30 days. Now, as you can see here, when someone approved payment, then we're going to wait 1 hour. And then if they didn't activate the app yet, we're going to send this email. Okay, again, only in case you see we have a filter here, only if the payment was approved, but the app is not enabled. Yeah. All right. So as you can see, we got a 52% open rate for this email and 6% click rate. And you can see that 12.6% of people activated the app. Now we're going to talk about why this happens in a second, but as you can see here on the left side, we actually did a lot of split testing, which is something we're going to talk about soon. And the email looks something like this. Okay, you still didn't activate the app, your thank you page is still not working, go ahead and activate the app. Very simple stuff. Now what you can see from here is that after 1 day, we're going to send another email. This one have a 4% conversion rate. We're going to, and by the way, the email here looks pretty much, actually I think this one is a text-based, but the rest of them are going to look just the same. Yeah, it's the same email, just a different layout. As you can see, instead of buttons, we have like human thing here. Then we wait another 2 days and then we send another email. Again, the content of the emails is exactly the same. The goal of this email is just to get users to activate the app. Okay, that's all we need. And then if we go to the next one, again, 2 more days, another email, perfect. Okay, so we got all of these emails and you can see we are sending a lot of emails. Okay, now the last one is after 13 days, I think. You can see that we still have 1% conversion rate. What you can understand from this flow is that we can actually send more emails. As long as the last one is still converting, you want to send more emails. And that's something that is very important. I see many businesses doing like 1 or 2 emails, and you can see that there's tons of money left on the table if you keep it in here. Okay, so that's just one example of a flow that I wanted to show you. Okay, so this is pretty much what it looks like inside Klaviyo. It's very simple. There are tons of different flows in there. There are flows by country, there are flows by the size of the user, by the lifetime value. Some flows are asking for reviews, some flows are doing different stuff. But again, if you want to get started, focus on pushing them down the funnel. You want to always take them to the next step in order to get them paying and active. If you get this, everything else is, it's nice to have, but it's not a must. These are the things that are really critical for you to get started. And I want to give you a few extra tips just to kind of finish the video. By the way, if it's helpful until now, please comment yes below. It's going to help. Yeah. Now, just want to give you some extra tips, as I mentioned, with one that is specifically for micro SaaS. What I would recommend doing is if you're building on top of a given platform, I would suggest designing the transactional emails, this important emails, just like the platform. For us, we built for Shopify, so we designed these emails to look just like the Shopify emails because customers already trust these emails, they already open them, and they already kind of know the design and what they need to do when they get them. Okay, so this is one thing that I think you should definitely try. The next thing, and this is maybe the secret sauce to our email marketing strategy, is convert clicks into conversions. And this is something that we couldn't do with e-commerce back in the day. What you want to do is, again, as long as it's not related to like third party or anything like that, what you can do is, if you understand that a customer or a user is at a given point where all he needs to do is just click a button or one out of a few buttons, what you want to do is just give him the option to click the button from the email and you execute the action for him. That's something that we've done with some of our apps in specific cases where we tell him, hey, listen, you didn't activate this feature, but we see that it's ready. Do you want us to activate it for you? He clicks yes, that's it. You activated the user, and that's where you take your conversion rate to the next level. And this is how you get to conversions of 20% and even more than that. The next thing, which is coming from e-commerce, but it's a best practice and you should definitely do it, is just always be testing. If you have any email that is not currently testing something, you're leaving money on the table. I showed you how many tests we ran on different subject lines, on different types of content. There's a lot of things you can test. The easiest thing to test is the subject lines, but you can also test the preview text, the send from, which is the name that shows up in the mailbox, sending timing. Okay, what time of the day? It can be based on time zone, how long after a specific action was taken. So there are a lot of things you can test, how long between one email to another, a lot of things around timing that you can test. The email content itself, of course, it's important. You can always keep optimizing it. If there's a button in it, try to test the button design and text. Try a few different designs of exact the same email and see which one converts better. Then you know that this design probably works best for you, and then keep testing from there. Yeah, I think these are the main things that you want to test all the time to get improved. One other tip that I already said, that if the last email of a flow is still converting, it means you need to send more emails, okay? And the last tip, which is again another kind of secret sauce that we have, you know that if you're a software company, you're going to launch and release some new updates every once in a while. And every time this usually happens, you send this blast email to all of your subscribers, all of your users, telling them, hey, this feature is finally out, it's here, you can use it. From now on, we support this, you can do this from now on. Here is a link to a video, here's a link to the article, get started with a link to the app, right? So this is an email you're probably familiar with. It's something that you send out every once in a while. What we've done in order to generate like an evergreen campaign, evergreen flow, you want to show users that you're active on a regular basis. We took all of these announcements and kind of put them in order, one after another. Every time we make another announcement, we put it at the end of this flow. And then over time, it just build and build and build, and we get this endless flow of weekly emails, weekly newsletter that we're going to send users. And every new user that we have is going to get this same flow. He's not going to know if it's new or old. He's just going to get this series of education about the product, and he's going to feel like we're active and respecting his time with high quality content. Highly recommended, works great. It gives the customer this feeling that we're always active and always releasing new features. Alright guys, and just to give you some context to everything we just talked about, you can check out this video where I talk about email marketing. We had this conference like a year ago. Most of the things I'm mentioning here are still relevant, or you can check out this video, conversational video between me and my sister, which is my business partner, talking about email marketing. Also, if you have any questions about this topic of email marketing, anything you would like me to cover specifically, just mention in the comment section below, or if it's questions or whatever, we'll make sure to answer each and every one of you, and if needed, we will create a dedicated video for your question. That's it for today. Have a great rest of the day. Bye bye.